Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I feel like I've been putting it off because there's a lot of points I want to cover and I'm afraid this video is going to be really long, or I'm just going to like forget half the things I want to say and I'm just going to miss it, but this is something that I've been really wanting to do for a while. I feel like now that I'm 30, I just have a lot to share when it comes to happiness and kind of how I've found my journey to happiness and how I live a positive and happy life. So I've watched these videos a lot in the past, and I think that any video about happiness and how to live a happier life are amazing and extremely helpful and great in their own ways. But one thing that I found while watching some of these videos is that they tend to be pretty generic, and they tend to say the same things. You know, most of the videos, you know, cover similar topics and things like that. And with this video I wanted to make it a little bit different and kind of give you some ideas that I've found throughout my life and as I've grown older, and things that have helped me, and maybe some ideas that you haven't heard before. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with this video, and I hope it's helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps some of you out there to live a more happy and positive life. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so my first tip is actually something that I need to work on a lot more, and it's something that I don't do. And as a mom, I've been a mom of newborns twice, guys, and let me just tell you, when you're a mom of a newborn, you never get to sleep. You're basically exhausted all the time, you're tired, and all you want to do is sleep. And one thing that I've noticed as a new mom, and when I am a mom of a newborn, is I'm so much more irritated, I'm so much more aggravated, I'm grumpier, I'm snappier, I have less patience, and I've noticed that I tend to focus on the negative things of life versus the positive. I feel like when you aren't getting enough sleep, it's the #1 cause of a bad mood. And I know this firsthand, and whenever I, you know, make the effort to go to bed a little bit earlier and to get the proper amount of sleep, or at least the proper amount of sleep for me, my life is so much more positive and so much happier, and I feel like a different person. And I also feel so much more motivated, which is a huge factor in living a positive life. You know, feeling motivated to get dressed and do things that you want to do and get out of the house and all those kinds of things, I think is a huge, huge factor for positive, happy living. Alright guys, so next is something that I feel super, super strongly about and really passionate about, because I feel like there's so much truth to it, yet it's extremely overlooked. And one of my favorite quotes is actually, creativity is the deepest yearning of the human soul, and I believe in that quote so much, and for every single living being on this planet. I feel like this is something that works even for the most right-brained of people, the most mathematical people. I feel like every single human on this earth has a drive and a passion and something deep inside them that wants them to be creative. And I find when people find that creative source, they almost find a different type of purpose. And I feel like everybody has that inside of them. Like, I really truly believe that. And one reason why I feel like I'm such a happy person is that I've always considered myself to be creative. And you know, you can be really creative with creativity. You know, furniture making, candle making, jewelry making, photography, cooking, baking, smoothie making, birdhouse making, knitting, making baby bows, making baby clothes, making doll clothes, crocheting. Like, I think when you find something that you can let out your creative energy on, I feel like that can bring a lot of confidence, and it can ignite a passion that you didn't know that you had. And I think a lot of people have a hard time finding their creative outlet, and that's totally fine. I know it can take a while to find it, but I think it's really important to open up your mind to something creative and really focus some of your attention on that. Alright, so this is something that I find super, super important, and something that I don't do enough, and that is to find me time. And me time is something that every single person needs, even if you're an extrovert. I feel like having that me time helps you recharge your batteries, and this is why I feel like I don't get enough sleep. It's because my me time always happens at the end of the day, and I push it and I push it and I push it until like 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's not the best way to go about it. But I feel like when you have me time, you know, you have that time to, you know, work on something creative, like the creative outlet that we just talked about, or to just relax and watch a little bit of TV, you know, just relax your mind so you're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about cleaning, you're not thinking about kids. You could just tune it out and focus on something enjoyable, 100% enjoyable. So this next tip is something that can be kind of controversial, so I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but I think it's important because I think it can be extremely liberating. Now, I know a lot of people are going to, you know, wonder what my belief system is and things like that, but that's kind of a personal thing, and I think it's personal for everybody, and that's kind of why I wanted to touch on this. So I think it's really important to find your religious path or your spiritual path, or your lack thereof, which is just as important. And the reason I say that is because I feel like you can go through life kind of on a wishy-washy state where you don't have a connection to your beliefs, and it can cause a lot of frustration and confusion. And I think it's really important to get in touch with what you personally, keyword there, personally believe, spiritually, religiously, or none of the above. When it comes to a hard time in your life, if you're going through a difficult situation or whatnot, I think it's really important to know where to pull from, whether it be from another being, the universe, or from yourself. And when you need that inspiration and that motivation and that compassion, or that bravery, or the strength, or the patience, I think when it comes to finding that, you need to find where to pull from to get those things. And to everybody, it's a different place. And I think it's really important to find that connection. And I feel like it's very liberating to find that and to kind of decipher between what you believe and what you don't believe. And I feel like it kind of brings a new understanding to life, and it can also bring a whole different purpose to life, and it can make you a much happier person. Alright, so next is a grateful journal, and this one is kind of, you know, silly in a way to some, but it's something that I've always done. I've been a journal keeper forever. I love writing in journals, and I think a grateful journal is something that's really fun, really quick, that you can do before bed at night. It's just something that I've always kind of thought helps me, and you can be as superficial as you want to be because nobody else is going to read this journal but you. You know, you can be just completely and utterly materialistic. You could be grateful for the silliest of things, but if you write it down in your journal every night, I usually do 3 things a night on, you know, what I'm thankful for or grateful for, and I just write them down. You know, I'm so lucky to live in the house that I live. I'm really lucky to have food on my plate, and I'm able to feed my kids. I'm really grateful for my backyard and how wonderful it is, and then we can play back there. You know, just whatever it is, just write it down in your thankful journal, and it just, you know, ends the day right. It helps you kind of put yourself in a good mindset before you go to bed, and it's a good thing to look back on. Like if you are having a really bad day or you're feeling down in the dumps about something, you can just pick up your journal and you can just read it, and you can just feel a lot better about things. And another really good thing to do in your grateful journal is to write down things that you're grateful for not having. That's a big one, and I know that sounds really weird in a way, but writing something down like, I'm really lucky that I don't have cancer. And I know that sounds kind of depressing and sad, but it really makes you realize the types of things that you don't have to deal with in your life, the things that are a lot harder than, you know, the things that you have to deal with. You know, I'm really glad that I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, or I'm really glad that, you know, it seems negative, but trust me, it can really put a whole new perspective on what you do have when you kind of think about it that way. Alright, so this is something that's kind of silly, but I feel like it's kind of helped me a lot in my journey to happiness because I feel like it's really easy to bypass this. And I tend to be a really fast-paced person. I walk really fast, I drive really fast, I cook really fast, I put makeup on really fast. Like I always feel like I'm doing everything quickly. And it's like my life is about getting on to the next thing, which is a horrible way to live, but I've always kind of been like that. You know, I always walk really fast and all that kind of thing. And I feel like one really important thing is to find the beauty in the little things in life. And this is so important, and I know it sounds really, really silly, but once you kind of get used to practicing this, you start to really, really feel happier and more zen and just more content and more relaxed about things. And what I mean by this is instead of just drawing, like I'm gonna go draw, You know, get your favorite cup of tea, put it in your favorite mug, you know, light some candles, like your favorite scented candle, you know, turn on some music, maybe pick up your room just a little bit, just so it's nice and, you know, relaxed, and sit down and really enjoy that moment and everything about that moment. You know, or if your favorite show is on and you're really excited to watch it, you know, make your favorite cup of tea or make a smoothie that you really like and sit down, maybe light the fireplace and some candles, and, you know, put your favorite comfies on and just sit down and snuggle up and just really enjoy the moment. Enjoy the little tiny things about that moment. You know, turn on your Christmas lights if your Christmas lights are up, or just make that moment feel perfect and make it feel really good. And just when you do feel that, enjoy it and just take advantage of those little tiny moments and those happy moments and just the little things. Like, enjoy that little cat mug. Alright, so this is something that is kind of funny and something that you may not relate to, but because it's something that has helped me, I know that there's probably other people out there that this could help in a way, because I know I'm not the only perfectionist out there in the world, and this is something that has really helped my personality. And I'm one of those people that has to be the best at everything. I have to be the best housewife, the best mom, the best YouTuber, the best daughter, the best friend, you know, the best homemaker, and sometimes I put so much pressure on myself to be the perfect person, even if I don't enjoy it, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's really important to focus on the passions that you have and not feel the pressure to do something because it's important to other people. And another really good example of this is like clean eating. And I know I'm on Facebook all the time, like my personal Facebook page, and so many people post clean eating posts and talk about clean eating, hashtag clean eating, and you're like, I'm like the world's worst person because I'm not clean eating. And, you know, it makes you feel kind of bad about yourself. Like, I could be eating a smoothie right now, but now I'm eating a frozen burrito. Because clean eating is important to this person doesn't make you any less of a person for not doing it. Just because growing your own vegetable garden is healthy, because you can go out there and eat vegetables anytime you want to, doesn't make you any less of a person if you don't do it. Just because you don't bring a platter of freshly baked cookies doesn't mean you're any less of a person for bringing a batch of boxed cookies, because I know I don't cook like fresh baked cookies during Christmas time because I'm too damn lazy, and I'm always the one that brings like boxed cookie mix. Don't let yourself feel like any less of a person for not always being the best or doing the perfect thing or what you think that you should be doing in your mind to make you the perfect person. Do the things that you want to do, enjoy the things that you want to do, don't do any of these tips if you don't want to do them. Okay, last but not least is something that's really, really important and something that I've really found like helped me the most. Well, one of the things that have helped me the most, and it is to pick up my life at the end of the day. And a lot of people ask me like, how do you keep your house so clean with kids? Like, I don't understand how you keep your house so clean. You always look like you're put together. Trust me, I'm not at all. But at the end of the day, I always pick up my house. I pick up toys, I pick up my kitchen table, my counters. I, you know, throw all the dirty clothes that may be laying around the house in a basket, and then I bring it upstairs so it's all in one place, not scattered around the house. Like, I truly believe that when you wake up, it's like you're being reborn into a new day, and you want to start a new day feeling fresh, feeling clean, feeling organized. I feel like when you wake up in a zen-like state, your life just feels better. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize this, but I think it's true. I think even if you're a really, really messy person, when your life is organized and your surroundings are organized, you feel more relaxed. You feel more like you have less to worry about. You don't have like all these things going in and out of your brain all the time, and I feel like it's a lot easier to relax. So that is it for this video. I hope it was helpful. I'm sorry if it was a little bit long. I tried to talk about each thing for a short amount of time, but it's really, really hard when you're doing a video like this, so I apologize in advance if it is a little bit long. But I hope it was helpful, and I hope you found this video interesting and maybe a little bit enlightening and liberating in a way. And let me know if you guys have anything to add. I would love to hear your tips and like theories down below on how to live a happier, more positive life, because I think that's what's really important, is everybody is different, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like I've learned how to be happy in a different way than other people. And I feel like all of my subscribers have something to add to this video, because everybody is different and everybody has a different personality type. So please leave a comment down below on your ideas on living a happier, more positive life. I would love, love, love to read them. And also thumbs up this video and share it if you found it inspiring. And also don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!